The Alchemical Reinvention, Nutrition as Transformation Hackers, the laboratory, another station hummed with activity. On the counter were vials of bioengineered nutrients, precisely crafted cocktails of vitamins, minerals, and compounds tailored to Bryan's own genetic makeup. Modern elixirs, these nutrient-dense mixtures, created through molecular analysis, mirrored the ancient alchemical tonics once brewed by mystics. With each measured dose, Bryan sought not just to nourish his body, but to refine it, to bring it into harmony with his broader vision of vitality. "This is balance," Bryan said quietly, lifting a vial. "The kind they spoke of for centuries, tailored to my being, optimized for my life." Zoran's eyes glinted with approval. "Even the alchemists of old would marvel at his craft," the dragon murmured. "Yet balance is not in the elixir, but in the hands and heart of the one who drinks it. The breath of life, ancient rhythms, scientific precision." Bryan sat at a desk, his eyes closed, his breath measured. Around him, sensors recorded the movements of his diaphragm, the rhythms of his heart, the neural signals emanating from his brain. He was practicing a modern adaptation of pranayama, ancient breathwork techniques, paired with real-time data feedback. A modern bridge. By synchronizing his breath with the rhythms of his body, Bryan activated pathways of calm, focus, and resilience. On the monitors, the sensors showed the activation of the vagus nerve, a measurable response that corresponded to the stress reduction effects mystics once credited to balancing prana. The ancients knew the power of breath, Bryan thought as he exhaled deeply. Now we can see why. Watching from beyond the veil, Zoran smiled. "Breath is the song of life," he said. "Bryan sings it well, though his instruments are not the ones the gods first gave. The dance of real-time energy off all his innovations. It was Bryan's wearable technology that most fascinated Zoran. Strapped to his wrist was a device that monitored every metric of his existence: blood glucose, heart rate, oxygen levels, even the subtleties of his sleep cycles. These tools, paired with AI algorithms, allowed Bryan to make instantaneous adjustments to his daily routine, balancing the inner flame. As the readings shifted, Bryan drank more water, adjusted his posture, or stepped outside to absorb sunlight. Each tiny action was an act of real-time alchemy, a translation of raw data into optimized vitality. "This is the art of balance," Bryan said aloud, reviewing the glowing readout. "Not intuition, but precision, a science of self." Zoran's wings unfurled in thought. And yet, he reflected, what is precision without purpose? Let his heart guide his balance, for the instruments only see the surface of the flame. Integration of the ancient and modern. At the close of the day, Bryan stood at the edge of his balcony, looking out at the city below. The lights sparkled like the synaptic flashes he had charted hours earlier. Behind him, the chamber still hummed with its quiet symphony of innovation. Above, Zoran hovered silently, his golden gaze taking in the mortal's work. He spoke into the wind, his words carried on a breeze Bryan might never hear. The ancients built their wisdom upon stars and earth, intuition and insight. You, Bryan, shape yours with circuits and data. Neither path is wrong, for both seek the same truth, that the body is not a cage, but a vessel, a crucible for transformation. Carry your flame with care, and let it light the way for others. With those words, Zoran retreated into the heavens, leaving behind only the faintest shimmer of his wings, a reminder that within every mortal quest, there is a thread that links them to the timeless dance of creation. The mystic's path, a tale of bioalchemy in a time long past, when the earth hummed with unbroken energy and the stars whispered secrets to those who dared to listen. Zoran, the great dragon of wisdom, rested upon a mountain wreathed in silver clouds. His molten eyes scanned the shifting tapestry of the mortal world below. He had watched for countless centuries as humans sought to unlock the secrets of their existence, delving into the mysteries of their own inner alchemy. Within every mortal lies a crucible, Zoran murmured, his voice a thunderous hum that resonated with the mountains themselves. The spark of transformation awaits, kindled by those bold enough to harness it. The alchemy of diet, food as medicine through the mists of time. Zoran's gaze fell upon a mystic in a humble forest dwelling. This woman, frail yet radiant with an inner light, prepared her meals as though crafting an elixir. Her hands moved with purpose as she selected herbs, grains, and fruits, each brimming with life-giving energy, balance, and harmony. The mystic spoke softly to herself as she worked. She whispered of turmeric's fire, of cucumber's cooling touch, of mint's serenity. Her meals were not mere sustenance, but alchemical blends designed to cleanse the body and align her spirit with the universe. Zoran, from afar, nodded approvingly. Every bite you take carries the memory of the cosmos. Food is not fuel alone, it is the alchemist's first tool, capable of forging balance within the storms of the self. The breath of life, mastering vital rhythms in the stillness of a temple courtyard, Zoran saw another mystic seated cross-legged, her eyes closed, her chest rising and falling in a measured, deliberate rhythm. The dragon's scales rippled in recognition of her craft. This was the manipulation of breath, the ancient art of pranayama. Breath as the bridge. Each inhale drew in life energy, prana, connecting her physical form to the subtle realms of her energy body. Every exhale released tension, drawing her closer to clarity and balance. Zoran exhaled deeply, his breath stirring the winds of the valley below. "All mortals," he mused, "your breath is your bridge, the path between what you are and what you could be. Master it, and you will summon power that rivals the winds of the heavens." Manipulation of vital energies. The dance of Kadip in a bamboo grove. A mystic flowed gracefully through the movements of Qi Gong. Her arms swept in arcs, her feet moved with deliberation, and her entire being seemed to pulse in harmony with the world around her. Aligning energies. The air shimmered faintly around her as she moved, evidence of the energy she directed through her body. Zoran saw her clearing blockages within herself, a process that mirrored the dragon's own command over the elemental forces of fire and air. "The currents of life flow through you," Zoran rumbled, his voice a low thunder. "Guide them well, and you will find strength not in force, but in alignment." The ritual of transformation as the sun set and a crimson glow bathed the earth. Zoran's eyes turned to a gathering of mystics encircled by flickering torches. They chanted softly, their voices weaving an intricate melody. In the center of the circle, a young man sat in deep concentration, his body trembling as he envisioned the energy within him rising like a flame. The path to enlightenment. Their chants fueled his journey. He visualized a serpent uncoiling at the base of his spine, ascending through his chakras. With each breath, each whispered prayer, he refined and transmuted his inner energies, becoming something greater than he had been. Zoran watched the scene unfold with a sense of deep respect. "And so they transform," he said, his golden eyes softening. "Mortals, untempered as they are, hold the potential to become forces of the universe itself." A call from Zoran. As the final torch burned low and the chants faded into the quiet of the night, Zoran rose, his shadow falling across the mountain as his wings unfolded. His voice, deep and resonant, carried across the valleys and echoed into the hearts of those who sought wisdom. "You are alchemists of your own existence. Your body is the crucible, your breath the flame, your spirit the elixir. Tend to them with care, and the boundaries of what you are will dissolve. In their place, you'll find the infinite." And with a gust of wind and the shimmering of his scales, Zoran vanished into the night, leaving behind the teachings of transformation for those who dared to embrace their latent power. A bridge across time. Bryan's alchemy of modern mastery. On the edge of a twilight city, Bryan Johnson stood at his laboratory window, gazing at the blending hues of daylight and the creeping dark. The sky stretched before him, an infinite expanse reminiscent of the human body's untapped depths. Behind him, machines hummed softly, glowing with data streams that whispered secrets of vitality and potential. Bryan's world was a unique union, a symphony of mystic intuition and scientific precision. Beyond the clouds, unseen and ancient, Zoran, the dragon of endless wisdom, hovered in silence. His golden eyes flickered as he observed Bryan's pursuit. To balance fire and steel, Zoran rumbled softly. His voice, a melody of centuries, is the alchemist's true test. Let us see if this mortal dares to wield both wisely.